my name is Jillian. I'm an artist from St. Louis, Missouri, and today we're going to be drawing one of my patrons. Her name is Kait. She sent me in her photo, I think probably September. I asked for my patrons to send me their photo so I could practice drawing, and then the holidays hit and I had no free time to draw. And so now that it's January, I want to slow down and practice some more. Yeah, so we're just going to draw Kait and talk about what I'm doing while we're drawing. All right, so we start with our baselines here to map out where the main features of the face will be. Love all the movement in her hair. We're going to do a lot of expressive line work when we go in back with pen. For now, we'll just do some rough lines. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I didn't make her face long enough in my initial sketch. Not by a whole lot, but I do need to adjust it from here now that we have her features down. So let's see, yeah, we were off by just a little bit. And by we, I mean me. You are not to blame for my mistakes. Yes, that is better. Good. She has a great jawline. I love that. I just like to draw interesting features. I have a very round face as well. Not that I draw myself very often, but I am not interesting to draw, in my opinion. Oops. Okay. And then her hair's going that way. Some hair's going that way. Her neck comes down this way, and then hair's resting on her shoulders. So that's what we'll draw. Okay, so that's all I'm gonna do when it comes to pencil. Let me track down some of my favorite pens. Let's see. We got, what does PN stand for, do you think? Probably like pointed nib or whatever. It's not brush. It's a very skinny, fine point. And then I love this one, which is a brush pen with medium width, and then there's a fine tip brush pen. Here it is, right here. So these are the main ones that I ink with. I do occasionally ink with other ones. Let's see if they're in here. Oh, I've got pens everywhere, but of course, none that I'm seeing that I need right now. Oh well. Yeah, these are some of my favorites, so we'll just proceed with these. And I think, let's see, what do I want to do first? I'll do the fine nib brush pen. I like brush pens whenever a portrait is more expressive, like very organic, flowy lines kind of thing, and that's definitely what this source photo evokes. It's just like windswept and movement, and brush pens are great for capturing those. You just have to do a lot more work with a fine tip, non-movable tip, especially if you want to make it look brushy. It's like, why do all that extra work? Just use a brush pen. I'm not going to get too precious about the jawline right now. I usually do that when I'm down by the mouth, just to make sure that I'm getting proportions correct as I move down the face. But here's the other thing about me, is that I kind of just let my hand lead, and sometimes my hand bops around to different places, wherever it wants to draw or wherever it sees that a drawing needs detail. And that's not really conducive for teaching. Not that this video is necessarily teaching you, it's more just explaining what I'm doing. But it's not an effective teaching tool, I don't think, to just kind of bop around everywhere. But that is my style. That is what I'm prone to do, if I'm being honest. So I'm just using contour lines to show what direction her hair is flowing in. And I kind of block out sections of lines. So you see that I kind of blocked out this section here, and then I'm putting lines within that section. And you'll see my, I have a tremor. I have a very shaky hand, and you can see that, the light lines that I tried to put down. Okay, so the next section I'm going to do is like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It helps if you make the sound effects. Whoosh. Okay. Her hair's blowing that way, and then there's like a section here that's maybe flowing behind it, not as flowy. Good. Good. Okay, so I'm kind of have my frame set up for the features inside. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to ink the other eyebrow, so we're at least evenly paced with that. Also using contour lines to show what direction the brow hairs are going in. It's the little things that just give a portrait more interest. She has all these wonderful freckles as well, so I'll be sure to put those on the page as well. Okay, so I'm going to draw her lash line, top lash lines, and I'm going to do those both at the same time. And then put the crease of the eyelid above where that is. And then do the lower lash line. And then her eyes, or irises rather. And don't really see a pupil, but I'm going to put one in there anyway. And then I'm just going to hatch across that. Like that. And then one of my favorite features to draw is actually the crease of the lower lid. I feel like it's so expressive. It gives you so much more detail about a face. It takes it from being like a flat line drawing into something more dimensional. All right. So it's also like really tempting to keep like making long expressive lines. But another thing that I find pretty effective is to do short lines. So beep boop, like that, just, and you can still put them in the direction you'd like them to go, like to give contour. So instead of putting these straight down to show like that her nose is going that way. I did them at an angle so it shows that her nose slopes because it has dimension. Okay, so I did draw her nose a little too low, so I'm going to bring it up a little bit with these guidelines. And I'm looking at proportions here of like, how much room do I need between the crease of her cheek and her lower lid? And that looks more right to me than this to this did. So I'm also just correcting my own mistakes as I go down. And that means we're probably going to have to bring up the other features as well, and that's fine. Those pencil marks are just a rough draft, honestly. They are not the law by any means. Okay, and then nostril kind of curves around. And I like doing contour lines here to show like the ball of the nose. The ball of the nose is probably not like the term scientists would use, but it's what I would use, and I used it. Okay. So I'm going to go in and just add some freckles. If I was doing speed portraits, I'd probably do this at the end. But I'm also not generally talking through my process while I'm doing speed portraits, and I'm afraid I'm going to forget. I'm just going to do contour lines to show like the shape of the face. That is her cheekbones. Maybe I'll do some contour lines here to show the different planes of her cheeks, how it's going in this direction, and then your eye will just kind of like follow it and swoop in the direction these lines are making. And then I'm always generous with eyelashes because I have very few to speak of, so I have to like really mascara up my face or do falsies or whatever. No shame in that. But I just love eyelashes and I don't have many, so I'm more generous in my drawings. You know. Okay, so we're about halfway done. Yeah, we're going to be moving some of these guidelines up. And in your own drawings, you can erase the guidelines and redraw them. I just have done this enough that I want to keep going. I don't want to stop and do that. And I'm more comfortable just continuing rather than stopping and drawing. Okay. So I'm just going to completely color this in because of the shadows here. And it's also going to give us more information about her jawline. I'll keep going with that and come back to it in a little bit. And I just draw up to the lines that I already drew. And we do more ink there to kind of show the shadows and give the hair depth as well. Okay, so bottom of the nose is here, so her top lip starts about there. And then I think I've mentioned this before, but I often don't draw the details of teeth because if you put too many details in, it starts to look real weird. I don't know why, other than like I'm assuming your brain doesn't read tooth, 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 tooth. It reads teeth, and it's good with that. But when you draw tooth, 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 it's hard to say. When you keep drawing tooth, when you draw the teeth one by one, excuse me, there just becomes like too much information there. And then your brain is like, those are individual teeth. You get betrayed by your own brains, basically. Right. Draw my bottom lip. I'm not gonna let my tremor win. Just do some hatching for the top lip. Because I'm not doing color, I do want to suggest like different varieties of tinting. What's that called? I don't know. Dark to light. Value. That is it. Value. Okay. And then this line comes down a little here and a little here. And okay, so now it's time for chin. And it comes down about that much. We camp out here for a little bit, and then we come back up. Nice. Okay, so that might be it for us on fine details. I might pick up this pen again and go back, but I am gonna switch out to the medium point and do some swoopy lines. Ooh, this is a nice crispy new pen. Never know grabbing a pen from like a pencil cup or something. If it's new or old, or it's always a fun surprise. Okay, and then there's some hair here. And then the strap, and then her arm. And her hair comes down here. I'll go back in with here, and so I am going to put a few lines here for the gum line, and I know I just went on and on about teeth. Forgive me for that, please, and not putting a lot of details, but I do like putting the gum line if it's showing, because it adds more information about someone's authentic smile. And I like that more than, I'm still not going to put lines in between the teeth, so I am true to my word on that. But I am going to put a few more details here so you can get to know her smile better. Yeah, that looks more natural. Like that. Brilliant. Okay. And then because it's windy and she's kind of windswept, I want to These don't have to be true to the photo, but I am going to keep adding, what are these called? Flyaways, I guess, or just strands. It gives more emotion and interest to the drawing. Plus, they're fun to draw. Drawing should always be fun, unless you're in school and learning to draw, and then you're having to draw things that aren't fun. But one day, you'll be able to draw things that are fun. Just going to add more small lines to reflect the values. Ha! Are you impressed? I remember that word. The values in her picture here. Like there's more shadow here. But I'm not going to color it all the way in. And there's some value here. Okay. You know what? Just noticed she's got freckles on her shoulder. So I'm going to add some more freckles. Maybe some more hair strands. Do some hatching for the strap. And then you can see part of the other strap over here too. So I'm going to draw that. And then I think I'll add some hatching down here just to give some depth here. There aren't very strong shadows underneath her chin, so I'm not going to do a whole lot, just a little bit. All right, I think that's good. I think I'm content with that. Okay. Just gonna let that ink dry a little bit. Move those all. Check our time. 22 minutes, not bad. If I wasn't talking, it'd be shorter. And if you watch this video on mute, I don't blame you. And I'm going to do a once over again because now that the pencil lines are gone, I'm already seeing places that I needed to fill in, but my eye got distracted. That off there. Okay. Like here. Just needs to be more strands. There you go. And this kind of needs to be filled in too. Let's see, anything else? There we go. All right, I like that. Cool, cool, cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right, before I overwork anything, I'm going to call it quits on this. But before I do that, I'm going to sign it. Cool. Thank you for watching me draw Kate. Thank you for being a patron if you're a patron. If you're not a patron and want to be a patron, go to patreon.com/JillianK. Sign up. I've got lots of different tiers. really sticking together tier gets 2 stickers. Sticking together tier gets 1 sticker. And then I have 2 tiers above the sticker levels that are artwork based. So one, you just get things from my studio, and the other, you get a custom letter tailored specifically to you and your interests. So I've got lots of things available for all sorts of folks all around the world. It's been really, really nice to get to know people on there. So thank you for your support nonetheless, if you're a patron or not. I appreciate you.